This WAFL Colts broadcast is brought to you by Electrical Group Training. Considering a career as an electrician, visit egt.net.au to start your journey. Amy, when the bounce serves you a clanger, lucky you're with Amy. And Front Row Screens, your local streaming superheroes.
There's no tomorrow for the loser. Winner prevails on to a first semi-final to versus South Fremantle next week. Drop this one and it's curtains on season 2026. A very warm welcome to Fremantle Community Bank Oval. It's the EGT WAFL Colts Elimination Final. Subiaco hosting West Perth. The Lions have been the feel-good story of the back half year. A real surprise packet winning their last 5 games. Their coach resigned and David Hay took over as interim coach. Since then, they've gone an 8-3 record, including the last 5 games. A 73-point win versus East Perth last week. And for West Perth, their form has been a bit up and down. They're coming off a draw last week, the only draw of the EGT WAFL Colts season, and haven't won a game since round 13. A couple of byes in that time, but round 13 against Swan Districts was their last win. These two sides won a game apiece in the home and away season. In round 6, it was Subiaco who went down by 14 points to West Perth, but got revenge back in round 15 with a 4-point victory. So one apiece this year. Looking at some team ins for both the sides, there's 3 inclusions for Subiaco. James Boardman, who missed last week, comes back into the side, as does Ben Everly. And their skipper, Riley Hay, who hasn't been started at Colts level since round 15. For West Perth, they've got 6 inclusions themselves. Some big ins as well. Max Bowers comes in for his first game since round 17. Tyson Chapman missed last week. Laith Dufresne also missed last week. Deacon Seminu as well. And the big one, Harvey Sporton Guy, his first Colts game since round 3. 5 league games, 9 goals. Comes back to Colts level for an elimination final. And Hudson Fowler as well, the other inclusion of those 6, who made his reserves debut last week, 9 disposals and a goal, but makes his way back into the Colts lineup. As I said, South Fremantle, who went down by 8 points yesterday against Claremont, they wait that game to be at Mineral Resources Park next week. And sudden death from here. Starting today between Subiaco and West Perth. Subiaco returned for the finals after missing last year. They got the wood over West Perth in finals games of week 1 in 23 and 24, so they know how to get it done, but no players from either side out there today from those 2023 and 2024 finals. West Perth, they've been ultra consistent in the WAFL Colts, making the finals every year since 2019, including every year under Steve Chapman, who took over about halfway through that period as Colts coach. Seen a few players drafted as well in his time, hoping the likes of Harvey Sporton Guy could be on that trajectory, and a Colts final series could play a key part in that, starting with an elimination final today. Plenty of crowd building in here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Warm conditions for an early start of this EGT WAFL Colts Elimination Final. It's a pleasure, Ethan Roth, to be with you on the call, live on the WAFL official YouTube channel. South Fremantle await the winner, loser. It's season over in 2026. There's no tomorrow. We're underway of the EGT WAFL Colts Elimination Final. And first to it's going to be a key component today. Campbell Craig, who got a little bit of a push as he kicked it, and Dufresne down the field. Inside 50 now for West Perth. Sporting Guy, his presence there at the coalface was Zucchetti, who's kicked the 18 goals this year to be in the top 10 of the competition. Comes down the wave to Tata, has to just hold his ground. Through the legs there, quick snap around the body, always to the right, coming off the boot there of Harris. So first score of the day goes the way of the Falcons. They still managed to get into the final series by a game and a half, but as I mentioned, their form hasn't been great, albeit a lot of team changes, players going up to reserves and the like. Subiaco trying to come out of their back half. The fist there came from the Falcons. Well done over the top, and they can get the ball moving here, the Lions. Hugging the boundary line and unable to keep that in the field of play is Abanizio. Just his second game of Colts. Had 30 disposals last week on Colts debut, Angus Abanizio. And now here's Hudson Fowler. Run and carry on that left. Run and jump there through the hands of Dufresne. Harris applies the pressure. And it's locked into West Perth's forward 50. Jones to do the ruck work. Abanizio slamming on the boot, the Lions. Up towards the contest, just in front of us here at Fremantle Community Oval. West Perth pretty content to see that out of bounds, the contest there with Boylston for Subiaco. Ball thrown in. Couple minutes gone so far. Abanizio on a one-on-one, lost his footing. Fowler, he goes to ground as well. Yeah, fascinating midfield battle, the likes of O'Brien and Beck for Subiaco and Campbell, Craig, Fowler, Bowers and Co for West Perth. Tatata, players coming from both directions. Young was going back with a flight but was beaten to it on that occasion. And West Perth looked to move the ball on. Bruce Semino. Up towards half forward. Sporting Guy can't keep that in, and his direct opponent in Ben O'Shea will bring the ball back in. Short ball through the hands there of Young, but on the second attempt just held it in. Knows many of the West Perth players, good friends with Harvey Sporting Guy and Co, so I'm sure there's been plenty of banter throughout the week. Goes back now to Young. Young on that far side wing, just keeps it in the field of play. 23 disposals last week as well for Dylan Young, so spending a lot more time up the ground on the wing after last year predominantly spending his time as that small forward inside 50. Down the line go the Lions, but holding front possession. It must have been touched off the boot. And looks like Barraclough down there who... In fact, it is Barraclough in the number 9. 40 more marks than any other player leading to today. He gets the handball back through his fingertips. Here's a chance for Malloy Broughton to swoop in. Pereira likewise. Big sweeping handball there from Barraclough up in the air. West Perth to get out of the back half. Barraclough trying to turn back onto his right side. Fowler around the corner. They break out of jail for now, but it might come back in a similar direction. Slippery ball to Reed. Here's Craik. Gets first to it. Has company by his side in the forms of Reimer. And now Young keeps it low. Tough ball to pick up once again. Around the corner, Abanizio. His kick was intercepted by the pressure, and holding the ball, Benji Beck caught there. So well done by West Perth. And the free kick going the way of Theo Hall. The back half now. Fowler. Stuck of it early. Wanting a free kick, Pereira. Just doing everything he can to slap it on. In there is Abanizio. Well done. Has to get rid of it. He does. Again, little 1%er to the name of Pereira. Sporting Guy working up the ground. Here come West Perth. Sitting underneath it. Semino. First to it's Tatata. Vice captain of this group. Led them well towards the final series when they were bottom of the ladder for a fair while earlier in the season. Big hip and shoulder there, and a high free kick coming the way of the Falcons. They want to take advantage, they sure do. Luca Boxar's going to be caught back. He initially was called to play it on, but didn't want to take the advantage, the umpire. Here's Banjo Fitch, another one of these players who's played reserves footy in season 2026. His kick cut off somewhat there by O'Brien. Inboard to Abanizio, and taking the chest mark is Bournemouth. Kick 1, goal 3. Back in round 6 against the Falcons, so they won on that. They lost on that occasion, and not to say it was down to him, but if he gets some opportunity today, he'd like to be a bit more accurate. Inside 50. Boundary throw in. saw an 8-point win yesterday to Claremont. South Fremantle came back. They were down by as much as 37 points in that one, and making the scoreboard look a lot more respectable were the Bulldogs, but it was too little too late, as Claremont will now face East Fremantle next week. Both those teams still having the double chance, and the winner of that will go straight through to the grand final. Another boundary throw in just in front of us. So shallow throw in. Jones first to it in the end, but it was almost the half volley. Beck had a bit more time up his sleeve than he realised. Keen to keep this in through Krupi. Low ball, and in the stationary position goes O'Brien. 39 disposals, 2 goals last week against East Perth, and a 73-point win. It was a big win for all the teams in finals, and that was the 3rd biggest win in fact, but a big one. And here is Thatcher Simmons playing that crucial half-forward hybrid role. Received it there from Young. And Thatcher Simmons, who sits 4th in the competition, coming into today with 23 goals from 10 games. He's played reserves footy as well. So that in mind, he's had an extraordinary year. Plenty of big bags, including 4 goals in the round 15 win over West Perth. Can he get the first of the elimination final? Thatcher Simmons not going to make the distance. Big punch there came the way of the Falcons. Pereira's underneath it. Almost had to take the chest mark that obviously wouldn't have counted. O'Brien applies the pressure. Crate getting back to help out. His sweeping handball just a bit too much, but at least he kept it in front of his player on the end of. Pereira kept his footing when his opponent didn't. Pereira, is this the first of the elimination final? Not quite. An awkward one there for Bournemouth to read whether to leave it or not. In the end, it didn't matter. And we're all squared up, 1 behind each. Boxer, leading disposal winner in the competition and leading the Colts coaches votes up until round 16. Could be a real chance for the Jack Clark medal, which we probably don't associate often with defenders, albeit run and carry. Malloy Broughton around the corner and seen out of bounds. So could be a low scoring game today. First 9 minutes or anything to go by, a long way to play out as well, and we know the floodgates can open when that first goal comes, whenever that might be. Ball thrown in. Here is Thatcher Simmons. Read it best off the pack. His second shot at goal. And the behind. Just a bit too much hook on that kick. Subiaco take the lead for the first time today. Boxer often doesn't waste time out of the back line, and was off the knee there, so benefit of the doubt going to be given rather than the lasso. Almost 10 minutes gone in this first quarter of the EGT WAFL Colts elimination final. Still waiting for the first goal. Handball came out there from Bowers. First to it now was Williamson. State 18's representative as a bottom major over the top. Bit of time and space for Holbrook to work with. The bleached blonde hair, hard to miss if you're in the commentary position. Going back across goal. Here's Riley Hay, the captain, who's had a bit of an interrupted year. First time at Colts level since round 15, but his leadership's going to be vital today. Beck, well done there, hand pass off to Pereira, adding the support of run and carry. Inside 50, Simmons just mistimed that a little bit, and the mark is taken by Zach French to use the far siders to their advantage. Wasn't the best kick, and running out at full steam was Holbrook. He can lower his eyes, go inside 50, again just a bit too much mayo on it for Subiaco's sake, and taking the mark here is Declan Cooper in the number 43. Boxer got a kick away just in the nick of time. It's a good one to Williamson. He offers a lot of run and carry off half back. Handball got away just before the Falcon lost his footing. Here's Holbrook again. Beck inboard now to Lally. Lally had the 20 disposals as well last week. Here's Pereira getting involved early. Beck offering an option on the flank. Looking to take their time here, the Lions. Just that next link in the chain has been a challenge so far, but it might not be now as Young floats in from the side and takes the chest mark. Does Dylan Young. (23 disposals last week, as I mentioned, for Dylan Young. Subiaco, is this the first? Not quite, and another behind, so starting to stack them up a little bit, other Lions, but luckily it's not coming back to bite them just yet. They take a 2-point lead. Box up, this time hits up the target well and truly. And they're out of the back half, up towards half forward. Coming in, McGuan was there, as was Harris. Tough ball to win out. High free kick might have just been a bit too obvious for the umpire to miss. And here is McGuan. Kicked 5 goals last week as a double bottom major in that draw against Perth. The game that you could argue they let slip. And got to be quick with it. Krupe is going to be caught. Pressure on full display there from the Falcons. Can they do what Subiaco weren't able to and hit the scoreboard? Quick succession. Inside 50. Not the best ball. They're going to have to run and jump at it, which Mannion did in the end. A Harris around the corner. Taking the mark. Not quite. Sporting guy. You'd expect him to kick that. Might not matter though, because Zucchetti, who's been kicking goals all year. No, not quite. Must have been touched there. So celebrations just put on hold. And it's behind after behind at the moment. Goals hard to come by for both teams. Back half, here's Tatata. And now Holbrook. A bit too easy if you're Steve Chapman and West Perth, you think, out of the back half. Pereira. West Coast Eagles NGA and played State 18s footy this year. Western Australia. Tatata. Inboard to Lally. Lally up towards half forward, just misfiring Guildford. In fact, it was Evely with the kick. West Perth, can they go end to end here? Trying to deny them. Hay across half back. And Holbrook, this time Jacks, giving an option there to O'Brien, but a bit beyond his reach and out of bounds. So we'll be inbounded by Flynn McGuan. A few brother combinations out there, the McGuans, the Holbrooks as well. So plenty on the line for families, for their respective sides, as well as the individuals. And that's going to be chopped off by Pap. Pap across goal. Just rare fumble there. You'd like that moment again on the last line of defence if you're Holbrook. Hopefully it won't come back to bite him. He's not going to give up on it in the end. To give a high free kick. His direct opponent goes to ground. Mannion, not too sure what he wants to do with it. Back in board, fumbles all around here in this elimination final. It's not another game, that's for sure. Sudden death here, as will have to be the case for whoever wins this for the duration of the final series. Fitch tapping it to himself. Can he dispossess his opponent? Outside of the boot, tried to go the miracle. Banana on the run and across the face of goal for a boundary throw-in. West Perth, negative win-loss record coming into the finals. I say that with a draw next to their name, 7-8-1. But not too many teams make the finals having lost more games than they've won. A little bit of a gap though between the top 5 and the rest in this season's WAFL Colts campaign. There's going to be a free kick the way of the Falcons. Wait to see who takes the kick. So this is for the first. We've been waiting a while for it. We'll kick from about 40 metres. It's a floater, but it's a floater that was worth the wait for West Perth. They're on the board first in this EGT WAFL Colts Elimination Final, and it comes off the boot of Flynn McGuan. Kicked a goal in the round 6 14-point win over at Subiaco did Flynn McGuan. And that could just settle the nerves if you're a Falcon out there at Fremantle Community Bank Oval today. They lead by 5 points, 8 minutes remaining in the opening term. Back in the middle, Jones. Had a bit more time than you realised, but wanted to get the ball moving with the long handball. Beck, now to Aponizio. He's taken the ground, got the handball out, tracking it. For Subiaco was Payne. Around the corner, could this be back-to-back goals? Didn't look likely, and Hay sees it over the line for a out of bounds on the full free kick. Goes short to Pap. Pap on that far side. Can they get a bit of play over the back? Fitch has other ideas in mind for West Perth. Slams on the boot. Up and under kick will be a tough task to mark. Well crumbed there from O'Brien. Didn't get the handball he'd like though. And then there's a foot race on. Who's going to be first to it? Hard ball to Reed and couldn't have bounced back any more so in the opposite direction. Handball there came from Payne. They can just take a breath at the moment. Can Subiaco through Beck. Their second leading possession getter, averaging 19.5 this year. Number 6. Here's Pap again on the last line of defence. And now Hay. Just working the angles, trying to see what works, Subiaco. That's not the best ball for Bishop, but he did get a hand to it, so we'll have a boundary throw in. It's been, as I said, feel-good story, Subiaco. David Hay done a remarkable job, forwards coach turned head coach throughout the season. John Mansbridge falling time on his coaching days at Subiaco in the Colts. And big wins as well over the likes of Claremont in round 19 over Albany, which pretty much sealed their fate of playing finals. And a big 73-point win last week against East Perth to back it up. Here's McGuan. This time, it's off the Flynn Brigade. In fact, it's Jed, I should say, in the 56. So the McGuans combining the brothers to get it out to double digits. And 5 disposals between them. Low disposal, high impact. Both have majors. And as the 5-minute mark left remains here in this opening term, it's the Falcons who get a bit of breathing room. What can Subiaco do to stop this momentum? Craig out of the middle, well-weighted kick in the end. Harris takes the mark. Craig screaming back for it, but Harris wasn't on the same page. Looking for their third, West Perth. Inside 50, low ball. Subiaco first to it. Handball came out there from Jax Holbrook. And mark taken now by Everly, who missed last week, but kicked a goal in that 8-point win against Claremont down in Albany. Craig wastes no time again, pumping inside 50. Sporting guys there, had to play from behind that time. Groupie, measured ball. Craig again. There's a free kick though coming up to his teammate, and it's going to be Jones who went to ground there. Very slow to his feet. And he finds some fellow tall timber in the form of Harvey Sporting Guy. There's a couple of lines on him. Krupi wasn't sure whether to leave it for Pap or not. In the end, Falcons swoop. Dufresne there, misfired handball. It might not matter. Didn't get the purchase he wanted on in the end. Not going to be 15. Was touched anyway, so going to be play on, whichever way you look at it. Krupi, handball comes out. And then off a standing step, goes alone. And alone. His kick just to the right-hand side. So Falcons finding their mojo. They lead by 2 straight kicks. 3 minutes to play in the opening term of this elimination final. Both these teams played each other week 1 in 2023, 2024 finals. And it was Subiaco on both occasions. Mark taking it there by Malloy Broughton. Sliding in, couldn't quite hold the mark. O'Brien knew he had to play in the corner of his eye. West Perth read that best. Boxer applies the pressure. And umpire says, I'll have it. Williamson just stripped of it through no fault of his own. Watch out for the Rovers, see what they do at this contest. Flying in. Handball came out from Lally, tried to find Pereira, he lost his footing, and then Craig slams on the boot. Up to the 8 disposals. You can hear the calls have dragged it in. Harris rips it out to deny any chance of holding the ball. Semino back to Harris. The Seagulls get involved, but that's not going to affect the kick. West Perth, they have started the better team in this elimination final. And on the brink of quarter time, the margin goes out to 18 points. After a slow start, they've come to play and have found their rhythm under Steve Chapman. Harris, who's had a couple of scoring shots, the better one on that occasion. And for Subiaco, quarter time probably can't come quick enough. And disposals, and a goal for Jack Harris. He's been amongst the Falcons' best. They might want another one before quarter time as well. Subiaco defenders and midfielders going to be on high alert. Can they get one back themselves? Saw it yesterday in the final. Pereira tracks it. The leg speed, hard to deny, as was the finish, not quite. Just to the right-hand side, so 4 behinds. Could be a far different story. But we know there's a lot of footy being played out as Boxer won't want to take any unnecessary risks. Booming right foot, didn't really get the kick he wanted off the side of the boot. And one last chance for Subiaco through Young. Knows he has to move it on quickly. Can the mark be taken? Clock's up against them around the corner. Boxer, this time he makes sure of it. And West Perth are going to keep Subiaco goalless in the opening quarter, which is a tick for them in this EGT WAFL Colts elimination final. Subiaco, bit of inaccuracy that they'll have to tidy up. Quarter time here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. The Falcons 3-3-21. The lower ranked team and the lowest of them all of the 5 heading into this EGT WAFL Colts final series. They lead by 17 points, just the 4 behinds to Subiaco at the moment. There's a bit of push and shove, such as the stakes of this elimination final. Winner goes home. A date with South Fremantle next week beckons for the winner. And we'll be back for the second quarter live on the WAFL official YouTube channel right after this.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au. Teachers have to deal with a lot.
Especially if there's a few troublemakers, hey Bellas.
Give them a hand by letting WA Football visit your school for a lesson in team building, fair play and fun. Search WA Football to find out more.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
Take it from me, great things happen at the WAFL.
Valentine rides and goals.
With free entry for kids, future stars on the ground and a kick to kick at every break. The WAFL is where footy memories start and legends are made. Follow the WAFL on socials or get to a game.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell me you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
For me, football is more than just a game because football can be anything you make it. It can be for friendship, for fitness and for giving back. It's for all genders and ages. It's for those from the Kimberley to the Great Southern. It's for fun, for extra pocket money or for a lifetime career. Football is for everyone, for history and for connection to your community. Football is for all. Search WA Football to find your local club.
Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Waiting for a touch, you say no day. Nothing could really take your place. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge.
A 17-point lead for West Perth at quarter time of the EGT WAFL Colts Elimination Final. They lead Subiaco 3-3-21 to Subiaco's 4 behinds. It might just be a case for the Lions of getting their first on the board because they have more possession, 51% in that first quarter, and just one less inside 50, being 10-11. So it doesn't truly reflect that quarter, but credit to West Perth. They've made the most of their opportunities, particularly at the back end. Jack Harris, a goal next to his name, the last of those. The two McGuans, Flynn and Jed, hitting the scoreboard for a goal apiece as well. While leading possession getter-wise, Jack Harris with 10, Campbell Craig up to 9, Hudson Fowler up to 8, and Jake Papp also on 8 for Subiaco to lead their side of that department. Plenty of supporters for both sides here today. Early start at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. West Perth, their reserves are actually facing Pure Thunder in the reserves elimination final after this. So it's a big day for West Perth as a whole. Just good to see considering some of the struggles that their league side had with a wooden spoon this year. So it's a good representation for the teams who didn't make the league finals in the lower levels. Subiaco as well, missing out on finals in both the reserves and the league. We get set for the second quarter here from Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Subiaco still searching for their first goal. Can they get back in this one, or will it be West Perth to kick on? Jones in the middle, and off the deck go the Falcons. First to it, just slipping out of his hands. Might have been Bowers in the end. Craig playing for the free kick. Physical contest, such as the way in that opening quarter. McGuan touched off the boot. They knew it the whole way. Holbrook going back here to go forward, perhaps to Subiaco. A little bit of a fumble. Hinchliff there, and hopefully the truck or car beeping can sort itself out, but plenty happening here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval right around the ground. Beautiful conditions as well for footy. One-hand approach there. Interesting decision in the ruck. Tight angles to work with for Subiaco. Out of the back half, the kick came from Lally. One-on-one, Williamson and O'Brien, two State 18s. Squad teammates. So Everly and Jones. Jones just takes it out of there like it was not a worry. Krupa, he goes to ground. On him in a flash was Mannion. And got a ground level. Players from both sides. That ball's not coming out anytime soon. Up the middle, here's O'Brien. Bursting his way through, well done. Lally, it's at the wrong end of the ground if you're Subiaco though. Hospital-like hand pass off a standing step the lines. Can they get a bit of field possession? That's going to come back in a similar direction. And it'll be Max Bowers to do the kicking in duties. Kicked goals in his last two games, but hasn't been signed since round 17. Big run and jump there from, might have been Sporting Guy, who has been well held as the draft prospect for West Perth. I'm sure he'll work his way into the game though, and just getting a fingertip on that, sliding in, was O'Donnell. Yeah, Harvey Sporting Guy will be causing plenty of headaches for the back defence. Really has got his draft stocks rising. 6 goals in the under-18s championships, and the West Perth league side this year kicked the 9 goals from 5 games, was just goalless on one occasion, being round 20. Subiaco, they're outnumbered here. Can they just hold it up? Bournemouth doing everything he can. Did pretty well. Barraclough, premier fullback of the competition, combining now with Boxer. As I mentioned, probably the Jack Clark medal favourite, which would be amazing for a defender. Combining now with Alone. Dangerous ball. Risk versus reward if you're West Perth. Didn't get the purchase they wanted whatsoever. Trying his guts out has been Lally. He goes to ground as well. O'Donnell off a standing step. Here comes Subiaco. Can the mark be taken? Well, Simmons, a player of his standard, you'd expect him to take that mark. Doesn't give up on it in the end. Almost threw that out to Pereira. Pereira, tough angles to work with, even by his standards as well. Craig, whole ball didn't go out in the end. And they might want it to if you're West Perth. Simmons throws his head back in a bit of disbelief and disappointment. but has to just get back and focus on the task at hand. Remains in their forward 50. Shallow throw it again. Jones, not for the first time, he rips out of the ruck. Was that his prior though? And part of that rule that they've removed in recent times to be holding the ball. This time he gets it out. Lally around the corner, gives his forwards a chance. Down there, a full stretch, out the back. Malloy brought it down to mid-air. A volley, and Subiaco, that'll settle the nerves for them. You'd have to think they'll take it in whatever way, shape or form. And Judd Malloy Broughton, who's been kicking all goals all year, the hyphen. The awareness just to throw the left boot at it in the end. Kicked 2 goals last week against East Perth in that 73-point win. And he's been one of the most consistent small forwards all year. For Subiaco. Nineteenth goal for the year from 11 games, so averaging well over a goal a game in season 2026. So Subiaco get the first of the second. Didn't look like it might have been going that way after West Perth got an inside 50 for a little bit of time. Abanizio, Pereira. Can that just open up the floodgates for Subiaco? Inside 50. And a bit too much there for Bournemouth to keep in, but nonetheless, another inside 50, another clearance the way of Subiaco. This finals last year. But aside from that, been one of the most consistent teams, searching for their first flag since 2020, which was on this very ground at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. When you had the likes of Neil Erasmus out there, Matt Johnson playing as bottom ages, Tyler Brockman as well, who unfortunately delisted but was drafted to Hawthorn and then played 30 games in his AFL career at West Coast. Around the corner, Abanizio, just his second game of Colts footy, and coming in, Benji Beck. They've got 2 in a row, Subiaco. Well, the floodgates might have just opened, and it's one of their prime movers, Benji Beck, who kicks the goal from blank range, but timed his run to perfection there, just to read it when it hit the ground. And back under a goal. Benji Beck, 7th in the competition for disposals, and midfielders who can hit the scoreboard are a luxury in this competition. So the right-hand side of the screen, the hospital end is the goal-kicking one, it seems, in this opening half of this EGT WAFL Colts elimination final. So they try by 5 points. Big run and punch there from Bishop. Pereira. They put Simmons in the middle. He has to be quick with it. Knew there was pressure coming from behind and got it on the outside of the boot in the end. Simmons, can he gather cleanly here? Paddles it to himself. Big hit contest there. 2 former Hale teammates in Thatcher Simmons and Campbell Craig, who won an Alco together last year at Hale. So they know each other well. Simmons graduating last year and Craig playing PSA this year. So a year apart, but find themselves up against each other in an elimination final. Here's Luca Boxer, captain for West Perth. Coming in, Holbrook had a couple of bites at the cherry, was called to play on, but it might work out in Subiaco's favour. They're forced to play on. Inside, Holbrook, this time Mason. Kicks out to Brother. And pulling the kick, interesting decision there. Had Pereira in the corner of his eye, but taking the mark to chop it off was Tyson Chapman. A Subiaco line, formerly himself, and son of coach Steve out there today. So many storylines in this competition in this game particularly. Craig hand pass to himself in the end, the run and carry. Now, happy to go by hand, don't want to overuse it. And the kick off the deck there from Sporting Guy. Hits up Harry Wayne, and off the deck we saw Malloy Broughton do it successfully, and if this can set up a goal, then you can say that well and truly Sporting Guy to keep it moving. His one would be as well. So Harry Wayne playing that forward ruck role. Zero goals, 3 last week. Comes in. His presence is ever felt in this West Perth lineup, and that reflects with the finish here. So West Perth just get it back out the way that they'd like. Harrison Wayne, the recipient of that goal. And tidies up his inaccuracy from last week in that drawn game against Perth. So 11 points for the Falcons. In the box seat for now. Clearance comes the way of Alone. Inside 50, the mark's taken. And it's someone who's already hit the scoreboard today. As the double bottom major, Jed McGuan, takes the mark. And, well, if he can do even half of what he did last week, kicking a bag of 5, it'll go a long way to an elimination final win today. In that drawn game last week, he was the only multiple goal kicker, so he kicked 5 and the next best kicked 1. And now he's a multiple goal kicker for a consecutive week. 2 in a flash for the Falcons. And a dagger into the heart of the hard work that Subiaco did. It's out to the exact margin that it was at quarter time, being 17 points. Jed McGuan, 2010 born, making him a double bottom major. But playing with maturity beyond his years as we're at the middle stage of this second quarter. Incorrect disposal. O'Brien can't believe he's lucky. He thought the whistle was coming his way for a hold. To come the way of Alone. Got that last clearance next to his name. Spending a bit more time in the midfield after it being typically a defender in games gone past. Past Sporting Guy. Hey, the skipper has to be careful with it. Made sure of it though on the last line of defence. O'Shea can hit up a tug. Pereira's working up the ground. Well done there. Roved his own work in the end. Now to Tatata. He has to be quick with it. Hand pass forward. Players facing the wrong direction though. Just has to brace himself for the contact. Pereira sweeping in. He needs a few more passengers to come with him. Outside of the boot come the Falcons. Can they keep this in? Going back with the flight, McGuan. Circling now. Hot ball to win out in the end. Holbrook, he loses his footing. Lally inside. Beck over the top. Wanted Pereira once more. And Semino, who apparently didn't have any pride, according to the umpire. Probably the right call in the end, despite the loud calls from the sidelines here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Finals footy. Days away from September, and one of these teams is going to be there officially in September. O'Brien wants it to be his team, so does Barraclough. Takes the mark. Took the 14 of them last week with 30 disposals next to his name. It almost seems like you pencil in double digits when it comes to mark for Tyg Barraclough, and here's another one next to his name for West Perth. I think he could have had a case for state 18s if the squad was named throughout the season. And there's some pretty good ones for WA, being Tom Brown, Eli Dennis and co, but Tyg Barraclough, he has had a season to remember as a fullback for West Perth. And promising signs. I think there'll be some senior opportunity to come in years from here on, as O'Brien inbound, out of bounds on the full for West Perth, but that's not his best kick, is Sam O'Brien. 10 minutes to play in this opening half. Short ball to McGuan. Only multiple goal kicker on the ground. Just a little bit of a brain fade there. That should be a free kick though for a push, high contact. And O'Brien will plead his case, but looked every bit of a free kick from here despite being on the far side of the ground. And is it going to be 50 as well? Might have been dissent, you'd think. I don't think it was an infringement for moving off the mark. And that's not needed for Subiaco. They're already backs to the wall, you could say. And one of their leaders, Sam O'Brien, probably should know better than that. Understand there's a lot on the line here in a finals series game. And Williamson to take the mark. So a gift perhaps coming up for West Perth. We'll still need a good finish here from just inside the arc. But could have been very different perhaps if that 50 wasn't paid. Rafe Williamson kicked his first goal of the season last week. His second goal of his Colts career. Didn't really seem like he put his full effort into that kick. And it was to the right-hand side anyway. 18 points. Very casual bringing it out. Time on his side of Riley Hay. Kicks it there to Abanizio. As mentioned, 30 disposals on Colts debut last week. Played state 16s and very talented cricketer, being in the pathway for WA cricket as well. Playing in the Under-17s championships for them last summer. Dual sport athlete. That's a good mark taken by Bournemouth. $18-point deficit. Subiaco cut it back down to under a goal earlier in the term before West Perth muscled it back. O'Brien. He wants a free kick. His side's going to get it anyway through Lasut. Bournemouth has players from it screaming for it. It goes short, making sure of it is Beck, last goal scorer, Subiaco. His kick is a dangerous one. Players going at it, including Semino for West Perth. Ball comes out eventually. Was that a high free kick? Umpire might have said it was fair in the end. And Subiaco players and supporters letting the ump know all about their opinion, but umpire said it was fair in the end, which you could argue. Clock continues to run here in the EGT WAFL Colts final series. A week ago, it was East Fremantle and this very ground that won an astonishing third WAFL W premiership, upsetting the ladder leaders, the minor premiers, Swan Districts. That'll be holding the ball against Dufresne. So anything can happen on this ground when it comes to finals. And very historic ground here. No matter the level of the WAFL competition. Run and carry for Subiaco. Their spirit still remaining high despite an 18-point lead that they're up against, and Pereira was pleading his case for a free kick. Thought he might have been out the back there and wanted to follow a similar suit to Malloy Broughton with a soccer-style finish. Not to be for Subiaco. boxer. Wants to bring it to this broadcast side. Dufresne. New Heater player in board. Williamson can put the afterburners on. That's one of his strengths. Helicopter of a ball, but the bounce might have favoured West Perth in the end. Couldn't have suited Wayne any better, and Zucchetti for that matter, and the finish matches it as well. Fortune favours the brave for West Perth, but they're making the most of that fortune as well. 23 points, and Zucchetti on the left just got back onto his left side in time. And as they did in their opening term, they get a goal as half-time approaches. They look anything but a team who hasn't won a game since round 13. And it's quite remarkable you say that, even just that sentence coming out into a final series despite not winning a game since round 13, a draw last week. But finals is a different ball game no matter what has happened in the weeks leading up to it. Nineteenth goal for him, so Malloy, Broughton and Zucchetti for their opposing sides nearing that 20-goal mark for the season, including finals. Subiaco, can they get the quick reply? Neither team can get to it, but it just is in the arc, which means we'll have a boundary throw in. Less than 5 minutes remaining in this opening half. South Fremantle await the winner after losing by 8 points yesterday in a grand final rematch against Claremont. Claremont losing both games to South Fremantle in the home and away season, but it didn't matter come finals. And West Perth losing their last game to Subiaco this year, but that might not matter either, as Tatata sends it inside 50 for Subiaco. Potential arm chop for Boardman. We'll have a boundary throw in yet again. Back into the field of play. Simmons did well to get a kick out to Tata, going back with the flight. That'll be a high free kick, you'd have to say, and this time the umpire's not going to miss that. So the Subiaco vice-captain will try and go back and kick a steadier, which would be much needed for Subiaco. Going to be a tough kick though, despite being relatively close to goal. So Josh Tatata, the number 2 for Subiaco, vice-captain as I said. Can he lead from the front here and let his actions do the talking? He sure can. Much to the delight of the Subiaco faithful here, working it back nicely, right to left. And Subiaco, they get it back out to the margin that it was at quarter time, so it's a drawn quarter as it stands. But don't underestimate what that can do for the maroon and gold of the Lions, with under 2.5 minutes remaining in this opening half. Those are the opportunities you need to take from a free kick. What does the final 2 minutes have in store? Will either team further hit the scoreboard? Through the legs there of Wayne. Craig, O'Brien shrugs him off, then gets a kick to it. Going back with a flight. It was an awkward one to read. He just had to wait for it to Abanizio. Dropped it in the end, but got it moving nonetheless. Alone's there. Got rid of the tackle from O'Donnell, then inside 50, Bournemouth second to it, trying to protect the space is the Falcon. And over the top. Boundary line, not the worst result for West Perth. Plenty of people on that far side as well, making their way here to Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Big day of finals. Peel Thunder and West Perth in the reserves, and then the elimination final, grand final rematch of the league between South Fremantle and East Perth. Loser going home in all grades today. Around the corner. Players coming from both directions. Neither could really have a marking attempt properly in the end, and under a minute to play. So one last chance for Subiaco to win the quarter. They're still going to be behind at the main break. But momentum is huge. We saw Harper Banfield kick a big goal on the halftime siren yesterday to get a bit of breathing room for Claremont and set up a win that they had in the end. There's going to be another boundary throw in. Be under 20 seconds in this opening half by the time the Rucks can get to it. Ball thrown in. Craig shrugs off, and West Perth might have done enough here. Losing it there to Frayne. He lost his footing. West Perth, though, they're not going to lose the opening half without me holding the ball. And as the siren sounds, the tensions might just boil over a bit here as there's a bit of push and shove. You wouldn't want to do anything silly if you're either team. West Perth leading by 17 points, so a drawn quarter looking at it in isolation, that second term alone. 3-5-23 Subiaco, 6-4-40. These two teams, no matter the level, have always had a fierce rivalry. West Perth, of course, their spirited home being the home ground of Subiaco at Sullivan Logistics Stadium. So we see Young there getting involved. Knows a lot of these players very well. But it's West Perth leading by 17 points. They're the lower ranked team coming into today. Haven't won a game since round 13. A few buys in that time as well, and a draw last week. But as we know, finals is a new season in itself. And as it was at quarter time, it's 17 points the way of West Perth. Half time here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. A half left to see whose fate will go on in season 2026. We'll be back very shortly for the second half, live on the WAFL official YouTube channel.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au. Teachers have to deal with a lot.
Especially if there's a few troublemakers, hey Bellas.
Give them a hand by letting WA Football visit your school for a lesson in team building, fair play and fun. Search WA Football to find out more.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
Take it from me, great things happen at the WAFL.
Valentine rides and goals.
With free entry for kids, future stars on the ground and a kick to kick at every break. The WAFL is where footy memories start and legends are made. Follow the WAFL on socials or get to a game.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell if you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
For me, football is more than just a game because football can be anything you make it. It can be for friendship, for fitness and for giving back. It's for all genders and ages. It's for those from the Kimberley to the Great Southern. It's for fun, for extra pocket money or for a lifetime career. Football is for everyone, for history and for connection to your community. Football is for all. Search WA Football to find your local club.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out 'cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. The future is now. I waited for you in the passenger seat. There's only so far I can ride in your dreams. While you were chasing everything else but me, I'm starting to break out from your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. I'm not backing down, 'cause the future is now. Not backing down, 'cause the future is now. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The
Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Waiting for a touch, you say no late. Nothing could really take your place.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au. Teachers have to deal with a lot.
Especially if there's a few troublemakers, hey Bellas.
Give them a hand by letting WA Football visit your school for a lesson in team building, fair play and fun. Search WA Football to find out more.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
Take it from me, great things happen at the WAFL.
Valentine rides and goals.
With free entry for kids, future stars on the ground and a kick to kick at every break. The WAFL is where footy memories start and legends are made. Follow the WAFL on socials or get to a game.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell them you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
For me, football is more than just a game because football can be anything you make it. It can be for friendship, for fitness and for giving back. It's for all genders and ages. It's for those from the Kimberley to the Great Southern. It's for fun, for extra pocket money or for a lifetime career. Football is for everyone, for history and for connection to your community. Football is for all. Search WA Football to find your local club.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out cause you kept cutting the cord. And I started to fade into your grave.
A half left of footy in one of these teams' seasons for 2026. It's half-time here. The third term just around the corner of the EGT WAFL Colts Elimination Final, live on the WAFL official YouTube channel. My name is Ethan Roth. Appreciate your company throughout the course of the morning. If you're just tuning in, it's West Perth with a 17-point lead, 6-4-40. Subiaco's 3-5-23. Jed McGon, the only multiple goal kicker on the ground. Jack Harris, Flynn McGon, Harry Wayne, Xavier Zucchetti, the other goal kicker for West Perth, while Benji Beck, Josh Tatata and Judd Malloy Broughton are the goal kickers, all being singles for Subiaco. 17-point lead at half-time, which was the margin at quarter-time as well. These sides winning a game apiece against each other earlier in the year. Should apologise as well. I've been saying that West Perth's last win was round 13. Round 19 actually against East Perth, so that's the last win. But in terms of the last 5 games, only just 1 win and a draw as well. Still a negative win-loss record, which would be very impressive to go on from here. And the first half belonged to them, but players have to reset themselves for the second. In Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Third term and the second half of the elimination final. As we get underway, and it's Craig again, who up to 17 disposals. Ducking the head was Dufresne, and holding him in tight, Holbrook. Campbell Craig leading possession getter, 4 more than the next best. It's playing in the AFL curtain raiser on grand final day as part of the Futures game. The number 24 for West Perth. Wayne, one of the goal kickers from that opening half. His push out to Bishop, a bit too obvious for the umpire to miss. It's going to be important here for Subiaco to get off to a good start. They've been inaccurate in front of goal. Need to put that past them though. So Bishop, what does he want to do? Sends it down the line. Alone on the end of it. Bit of a wobble off the boot, Wayne. You can see Sporting guys out the back, and this might be his first look at it for today. He wasn't tempted to come forward to the footy. He knew that he had his teammates working up the ground and just timed his run well. So, Harvey Sporting guy, his first Colts game since round 3. 9 goals from 5 league games for West Perth. A real shining light in a hard year for West Perth's league side. And 6 goals for WA in the Under-18s Championship. He goes for the conventional drop punt, and why not? That is what Harvey Sporting guy can do. It's been a while between drinks that we've seen him at Colts level. But no doubt the confidence that he's had at the top level for the Falcons will do him a world of good in this final series, particularly if they can carry on beyond today. And they now double Subiaco, 23-point lead. He's off to the National Draft Combine as well, start of October. Been a little bit of discussion that he could be in top 40 calculations as well. So sort of came into the a bit unknown, but couldn't have done much more to put his name up in lights. 23-point lead for the Falcons, hot out of the gates in this second half. Bishop, his direct ruck. Jones lost his footing. That allowed him to get it onto the boot. Going back with a flight, Boxer. Sweeping handball. Ovankovic didn't call his name too much, just the 2 disposals in that first half. Chopping it off here is Boylston around the corner. Subiaco player outnumbered. That reflects on the mark taken by the Falcons. They can go across goal and find Cooper. Cooper down the line. And we'll have a boundary thrown. Harris just to see that out. Of course, West Perth got to the second week of the finals last year. They beat Swan Districts in the elimination final last year when they had the likes of Sam Swadling and Jacob Farrow in the lineup. And gee, what they've done since then has been very impressive. Rising star nominations at the AFL, particularly Swadling. Another 30-plus disposal game, albeit in Collingwood's wildcard loss on Friday night. Not going to forget your origins, though. This West Perth team that helped develop him. Pereira, his kick chopped off by Ovankovic across half-back. Nice start to his second half. Barraclough. They look to stretch on the far side. Harris in a promising position. Just fell out of his lap, though, in the end. That should be a high free kick and a bit of a delayed whistle, but it will come back the way of Connor Lally, who's the leading disposal getter for Subiaco with 13. Make that 14 now. Up towards the forward line. We saw some unpredictable bounce go against Subiaco in the second term, setting up a goal to Zucchetti. Here's Chapman. His kick, was that deemed fair? The bump, it sure was. The Tata. O'Brien on his non-preferred. You wouldn't know it, though, with that kick and reeling in with the one arm. Well done there, Boylston. Could have left it for his opponent, but said, I'm going to take some ownership here and stick the mark myself. And a goal last week in that 73-point win against East Perth. Can he back it up here? Wilburn Boylston, the number 20 for Subiaco. To match what Sporting guy was able to do at the other end. This kick further out, though, but a better angle to work with. Still needs to make the most of it. Got very close to the man on the mark and not going to score at all in the end. It comes to ground level. Do they want to professionally rush this through? They elect to not. And on the non-preferred, well done there by Barraclough, making sure of it. Williamson. And now Boxer. Boxer, his kick safe for Fitch. Fitch uses his leg speed, runs his full measure. Through the hands there of Pap. Awkward one, just falling out of the reach there, much to the frustration of Evely. And it might be a Subiaco ball, actually. But no one did touch it in the end, so Pap to do the kicking in duties from the boundary line. He's called to play on, didn't take much of a step, but enough clearly for the umpire to say you're off your line. This came O'Brien. And Holbrook kept his poise in the end. Bournemouth on the left. Can he sneak it home? Just a bit, doing a bit too much, and tapping over there. West Perth. So the minor behind to Subiaco. Still 51% possession in their favour. It's what they do with it though. And they do have more inside 50s as well. Beck at ground level. Can they get score off turnover here, the Lions? O'Donnell combines now. Was that a high free kick the way of Simmons? He's slow to his feet. Did look high, but umpire said it was okay. Now the foot race is on. Sporting Guy, well attacked there. Does he want to go for home himself? Harvey Sporting Guy from well outside 50. And got the distance, just faded to the right-hand side of the goal post and the behind post for that matter. So we'll have a boundary throw in. Now has to do the ruck work. Young, unkind bounce for him. Hay has to be quick with it. Fitch on the left. Can he work this back around? Tough ball to mark. It hangs up for an eternity in the end. Sporting Guy to himself in the end and playing that goalkeeper role on the last side of the fence. Players just stopped altogether there, and it's going to be insufficient intent. Well, it's a nightmare result there for Subiaco. Hinchliffe, I will say, he didn't disguise it the best, but you do see well in the 9-metre arc there that typically gets the benefit of the doubt. And kicking goal number 3 is Jed McGuan. So his consistent goal kicking goes from strength to strength. And things going from bad to worse here for Subiaco. You do feel a little bit there for Hinchliffe, but West Perth, they were all over it as well. .8 margin, as high as we've seen it here in this elimination final. Still a mountain of time, 15 minutes left in this quarter, and then the fourth as well to come. Almost a throw there, and it's called by the outer zone umpire. Wayne saying I paddled it out. Here's Abanizio. Pap. Short ball. Not enough on it in the end, and reading it best was Hudson Fowler. Dufresne hasn't hit the scoreboard yet today. Might not need to though. Down the line, Harris in a one-on-one. There's a holding free kick. It's going to go the way of the Subiaco defender, and no advantage taken. Short ball. Clean pick up there from Pereira. He does look a lively prospect whenever he goes near it. O'Donnell couldn't quite reel it in. Side by side there with Chapman. Just held up right in the heart of the ground here. Premiership quarter, as they like to allude to. And the winner of today make a real charge. We often see momentum from teams finishing in the bottom half of the finals race go on with it. Fitch, can he spot up Sport and Guy? He lost his footing, was getting nowhere near it anyway. And a boundary throw in. Boundary throw in. Is this game just slipping out of the reach of Subiaco and their finals? Hopes their season as well. We'll wait to see, but it's at the wrong end of the ground for them. Sport and Guy rips it out of the ruck around the corner. Had a feeling that was what he intended the whole way, and out of bounds on the full. This brave Lions outfit, they were down and out earlier in the year. Coaching change midway through. This target there from Hay. Dufresne has the body size there, Pereira, but Pereira back in an instant, and his smother, well done. He needs a few more to come with him. Does Pereira, can they go end to end? This could be Pereira's goal if they can get out the back. Just has to sit for O'Donnell, which he does. One end to the other, and Pereira, I dare say it, the players will get around him. The goal will go to O'Donnell, but that's not set up without an effort on the defensive end by Pereira. And that's the mentality that the rest of the Subiaco outfit need to take. A leaf out of the book of Kyle Pereira. Something out of nothing, but in the end, a lot made out of it. And Subiaco, they're not dying wondering. (15 disposals for Pereira. He's kicked the 0 goals 3 as well, but he is working his way into this contest very nicely. Who will it be next to make their mark on the scoreboard? O'Brien gets the 1-2. Could take a bounce if he wants to. Outside of the boot. Nicely weighted kick there to Malloy Broughton, who could only get one hand to it in the end. Can he shrug off his opponent? Holbrook's there. He had a player with him for the entirety of the way. Around the corner. Bournemouth, and right place, right time is Young. Had an opportunity at this end of the ground earlier in the game to hit the scoreboard. Couldn't quite do it, and this will be further out and a tougher angle. We'll kick from about 45. They wouldn't want to leave a 4 or 5 goal turnaround entirely to the last quarter. So this final 10 minutes really could define where their season lies. And for Dylan Young, he wants it to go 1 week further. He kicks the harder one. And they're starting to lift these Lions off the back of that last goal. 2 in a hurry and 16 points they remain down by. (16 points, 9 minutes in the third, 2 goals in a row for Subiaco. It's something that hasn't been a theme for them today, but using his size and his strength, Harvey Sport and Guy ran out of the contest. They're pleading their case for a push, and it's not to be. Using it well there. Interesting decision to play on, but it's a decision that lies into the favour of Harvey Sport and Guy. Maybe a bit on it for the Subiaco defender. And for all that hard work, they get it back out to 22 in the blink of an eye. Second goal for Harvey Sport and Guy in his first Colts game since round 3. Of course, under-18s championships game do count as Colts eligibility. So, over that mark, playing for WA this year. Jones taps it to himself in the end. Could it be back-to-back for the Falcons now? Going back with the flight was Holbrook. O'Shea had to be careful with it, was Pap. Holbrook, Jacks, over the top. Abanizio has a couple of Falcons for company. Hugs that boundary line. Jones, tall timber, wants to see it out. It's going to be a stoppage in one form or another though. Umpire says, give it to me. Many people absorbing the sunshine here in Fremantle. 2 big finals in the reserves and league coming up after this. Short kick, a measured one off the boot of Hinchliffe. Simmons, you just wonder, do they put him in the midfield and what that balance is like between up forward and in the middle as the mark's taken by none other than Tyg Barraclough, who wants to put the Jets on, something that he often does when he does take marks in this competition. But he's not on the last line of defence. Semino around the corner. Low ball. Guess who? It's Sporting Guy. Can he turn his opponent inside out? Didn't have a heap of momentum or room to move with the kick. Can he spot up a target? Dufresne's down there in a one-on-one with Holbrook. Holbrook just trying to protect the space. Wants to use the boundary line as his friend. We've seen Dufresne do this before from a tough angle. He wanted to go on the ground that time, and seeing it over was Ben O'Shea.
Hang on. How much?
Season hanging by a thread for Subiaco. Simmons. Maybe that midfield move has shifted now.
Sorry?
Wanting to bring it just in front of us. Young. Second year of Colts footy for him.
Hang on.
And that ball over the line. Chapman wasn't too eager to try and keep it in.
That one and those 2.
23 points. The margin would be the biggest margin between these sides. Either way, 4 points to Subiaco, round 15, 14 points in round 6 to West Perth. Round the corner. And Young was off in an instant, outside of the boot. Malloy Broughton, well done. Dispossesses his opponent, then uses Pap on the outside. Pap, can he lower his eyes? Here's Pereira, and he takes the mark. And, well, he was tempted to hit up Simmons, who's screaming for it, but if you're Kyle Pereira, you deserve to have a shot at goal, setting up the last couple. And Pereira's kicked 0-3 today, so you can understand the temptation to try and give it off. Probably the biggest kick of his season, Kyle Pereira. State 18's representative, tucked up against the boundary line. Not going to get their big fly, but the mark is taken right in the field of play. And it's Tyg Barraclough who just has sticky hands whenever he goes near it. Another 6 marks for him today. 14 last week. Abanizio through the hands there. A moment to forget perhaps a boxer, particularly if Subiaco can make the most of it, which they do. Don't go anywhere. This Colts elimination final has plenty of twists and turns left to come. And that came off the boot there of Keenan Reimer. Just snuck in the post in the end. And it's that margin of 17 points, which has been the margin at quarter time, half time, and as 3/4 time nears as well. Depending on what scores come, it could be that margin as well. So Subiaco, could they pull a rabbit out of the hat here? A lot still going to have to go right for them. But a needed goal. And Boxer, a rare mistake for the West Perth co-captain. Craig. Subiaco all over him. Break off the deck, wasn't the required 15. Young, anything to keep the ball moving. Clean pickup on the outside. Young, can he gather cleanly? Knows there's not a lot of time and space to work with. Got it on the boot. Little kick. Hall. And now Williamson sidestepping. Running support. Zucchetti. Player on in the middle if they can get it to him, which they can. Might have been McGuan. Sends it inside 50. Sporting Guy. Well, the bigger reach there. Mark taken. It might have been touched. And even Sporting Guy didn't know in the end. A wry smile for him. Maybe got away with one there, but the whistle taken and 3 bites at the cherry. The long reach of Harvey Sporting Guy. He's proving to be a difference in this third quarter. Harvey Sporting Guy for his third of the quarter. Quiet first half. You can only shut him down for so long though. And again, this back and forth game in terms of the margin, it's been West Perth for the duration of the game. But just beneath that 4-goal buffer for them. They'll be hard to stop and a mountain of work for Subiaco to come back from, with a couple of minutes in this third term remaining.
Yeah, coming now.
A minute 30 before the final break. Beck. Subiaco just claw one back. Fowler off the deck. And playing in front, Semino. Sporting Guy, you'd think he'd be the player again in focus. Out the back, Sporting Guy second to it. Is that off the leg? No, it's not. And it was Subiaco who had one last chance from this end of the ground in the second term. This time it's looming to be West Perth. Thrown in. Wayne, can he get a boot to it? Semino going to ground. Do not want to concede here if you should be back. You can see Hay looking over at the bench as to how long exactly is left. Holbrook around the corner. Fowler, ricocheted off the back of a West Perth player. Krupe just trying to paddle it to himself. Pereira. Hay. And they break out of jail to Subiaco. One last chance. Could they go end to end? Abenizio got a handball out. Umpire saying it's holding the ball though. And West Perth, are they going to go quick or are they going to settle with a 23-point margin? One last chance. Run and jump. Sporting Guy again. McGuan. And taking the mark. Not the 15, so have to be careful with it to Tata. And West Perth denied a chance to inflict more damage on Subiaco. But they're not denied the lead as it has been at each break. You can see the reserves coming onto the ground. They'll be here after this. West Perth will be hoping it's 2 wins from 2 today in the Colts and reserves. The Colts have to finish off the job though. And one last quarter in one of these teams' season for 2026. It's looking like it might be Subiaco, but you wait to see what they can throw at West Perth. They'll have to play with nothing to lose with 25 minutes left here. In the elimination final of the EGT WAFL Colts, it's West Perth leading by 23 points as South Fremantle await the winner. We'll be back right after this for the fourth and final term.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au. Teachers have to deal with a lot.
Especially if there's a few troublemakers, hey Bellas.
Give them a hand by letting WA Football visit your school for a lesson in team building, fair play and fun. Search WA Football to find out more.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
Take it from me, great things happen at the WAFL.
Valentine rides and goals.
With free entry for kids, future stars on the ground and a kick to kick at every break. The WAFL is where footy memories start and legends are made. Follow the WAFL on socials or get to a game.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell me.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
For me, football is more than just a game because football can be anything you make it. It can be for friendship, for fitness and for giving back. It's for all genders and ages. It's for those from the Kimberley to the Great Southern. It's for fun, for extra pocket money or for a lifetime career. Football is for everyone, for history and for connection to your community. Football is for all. Search WA Football to find your local club.
A quarter left to play out in the EGT WAFL Colts Elimination Final, live here from Fremantle Community Bank Oval on the WAFL official YouTube channel. And for Subiaco, 23 points is what they're going to have to come back from to keep their season alive and move it one step closer to the ultimate glory. And South Fremantle next week, the next opponent of the winner of today. Subiaco just taking a bit of extra time to go through their final messaging from interim coach David Hay, who took over after John Mansbridge finished up early in the year. And no matter what happens, it's a great story, Subiaco. 8-3 they've gone since that time, and in a position where they're hosting, albeit not their actual home, but in 4th position hosting a elimination final today. 17 points the lead at quarter and half time, and 23 for West Perth heading into this last quarter. Led by Harvey Sporting Guy in that third. 3 goals after being well held in that opening half. So 25 minutes left here. Subiaco, their season looks like it's hanging by a thread. What can they do? Expect them to throw everything at this West Perth team, and starts with the first clearance. Pereira going at ground level, holding the ball against the lines. And box up. 8 disposals for him. Only Campbell Craig has more. Holbrook out to O'Brien. O'Brien maybe a bit casual there with the kick. Fowler was all over it in the end. Quick kick. Can they get Sporting Guy? One out again. He's going to be second to the ball, and ball beats everyone in the end for a boundary throw in. Saw South Fremantle have a great comeback yesterday in the qualifying final. They were down by more than 5 goals at 3/4 time. Came back to only go down by 8 points in the end, despite some saying that Claremont might have put the cue in the rack. Good composure there shown by Lally on the far side. Bit of push and shove. Subiaco have bigger things that they have to focus on though, as the clock continues to run. Craig, side by side with Abanizio, 2 players that know each other very well through Hale, the PSA. Who's going to get bragging rights today at Colts level? Looks like West Perth. Umpire says I'll have it. Through the hands there of O'Brien. Now Craig threw a boot at it, and it's going to be high from the way of the line through Pereira. Pereira called to play on. Down the line. Big run and jump. O'Brien, well done there. Can he turn back onto his right? He's going to be caught. Eventually got a kick out. Subiaco need everything to go right in this last quarter, and it starts now. Box up. Second to it in the end. Right idea in mind from Hinchliffe. Sliding in. Subiaco will just have to settle for a boundary throw in. In the voice of Steve Chapman, the coach's box. He's wanting to make sure of this. O'Brien snapping around the corner. Would have loved a better finish there, and didn't go out of bounds on the full. Better result rather than the latter option, or latter result, I should say. Subiaco might try and grab this out of the ruck, which Hinchliffe does. There was no opposing ruck that went to it, and slams into the woodwork there. So they get it down ever so slightly to 22 points. Box up, wants to change things up and come broadcast side. Dufresne's down there, bit beyond his reach. And Bishop, nice tackle there, but he didn't stick him the whole way. Dufresne now out the back. McGuan, kick 3 himself to follow up 5 goals last week. Harris, kicked a goal in that opening term. And they set up another here. Sitting underneath it was Williamson. Williamson trying to honour the lead of Sport and Guide to get a bit of a push. Apparently not. Zucchetti kicked the goal at this end of the ground earlier in the game. Back to his feet. McGuan might kick forward in an elimination final. And he can't quite get that working the way he'd like. But nonetheless, Jed McGuan, 9 disposals, 3 goals. And now make that 3 goals 1. Abanizio had to make sure of it. Holbrook took his eyes off it at the last moment. Harris has time up his sleeve to work with. Can he finish? Sport and Guy can't quite take the mark. And, well, for his marking prowess, he even drops it. So everyone's feeling the pressure of finals. In this elimination final, another point for West Perth, 24. Abanizio in front of him. Handball, and now Holbrook. Didn't want to keep running, slams it on the boot, out the back, and they get it to Simmons, which they can. He's been starved of service today, has Thatcher Simmons. Just the 7 disposals and the 1 behind. And if there any chance of an incredible comeback here, you think this have to go through, and he might have to pick a handful in the final 19 minutes. Thatcher Simmons, been their best player all year. Has hit the scoreboard in more ways than one. Hits it again today. And says, come with me, boys, we're not done yet. 18 points, 3 straight kicks. The equation is simple for Subiaco. They need more goals. And they need to stop West Perth at the other end as well. '24th goal for the year for Thatcher Simmons. Not bad for a hybrid half forward who's been isolated, 1 out, and of course in the midfield as well. Was an All-Australian under 16s level and played reserves footy this year. Kicked bag of 6 in that competition. So short senior opportunity, not too far away heading into next year. 18 points the way of West Perth. Nordic round. Here they come. Can they get another one? Subiaco out the back, drop Mark Bishop. All he has to do is gather cleanly. The pressure came. Simmons, can he get 2 in a row? Thatcher Simmons around the corner. I said he had to do it himself, and he might just be on that way to doing it as far as going himself in the forward line. 2 goals to Thatcher Simmons. And do not take your eyes off the screen here on the WAFL official YouTube channel. Doesn't have to be your day, can be your moment. And we're back to 2 straight kicks. Could there be alarm bells ringing in the coach's box of Steve Chapman? They still hold on to a lead. But if anything is to go by from yesterday and this Colts season, do not rule out any possibility. Back to 2 straight kicks. Everything on the line here for these 2 teams. Beck to Tatata, just lost it. And now Semino in the air. Holbrook, was that a handball that was legal? Umpire put the whistle away. Sitting underneath it is Boxer. Short ball dropped there by Wayne. Feeling the pressure here, West Perth. And coming now is Reimer. Kicked a goal earlier. You can understand the frustration there of Simmons. Probably could have given a handball off there, and Simmons might have been having a shot for number 3. But nonetheless, it's at the end of the ground they want it to be. Simmons, did he cop a push there? Back to his feet. Barraclough shrugging off. Did that ball go out of bounds? Not quite, and good work there by Pereira just to protect the space. The mark taken by Hinchliffe. Expect this one to go long. Back to a central position. Down there, and the mark's taken by Barraclough. Again, just does it with such ease in the air. Cooper. But this time the mark taken by Holbrook. Low ball. Awkward one to pick up if you're Abanizio. Goes to ground level, tries to scoop it out. Cooper, his handball. Probably needed a better decision there behind. How crucial could that behind be? We wait to see. Coming off the boot there of Holbrook. So under a couple of goals. West Perth leading by 23 at three-quarter time. They've led it every break. It's been their game to lose in this elimination final. Boxer. Craig, what a fly that was. Couldn't quite reel it, but it doesn't matter because his teammate Bowers gets it forward. Sporting Guy at full stretch to Frey. They're out the back here, off the deck. Couldn't quite execute. The ball's not going to go over the line in the end. Boundary line might not be the worst result, and they're pushed over in the end. Now it's down to the defence of Subiaco to see if they can hold up. Sporting Guy tapped out. Beck holds his nerve and finds Malloy Broughton. Run and carry. They're not shying away from what they need to do, Subiaco. Good kick back inboard. Seems like they've got a bit of extra run and carry in their legs at the moment. Putting in the path now to run onto. Can they get a handball out? Lally, he sure did. Barraclough holding up well. And across the face of the goal. Picks up a target. Craig. Possession number 21. Wants to draw his opponent. Hold to play on. It's sort of a kick not meant for one man or another. West Perth inside 50. Out the back, Zucchetti. Can he gather cleanly? He's a left footer. Has to go the impossible type approach. There was a player on the last line of defence for Subiaco. So never looked likely. And it's out of bounds. Luckily though, it is in the 50-metre arc for West Perth. So boundary throw in. 12.5 minutes remaining in the EGT WAFL Colts elimination final to see who plays South Fremantle next week at Mineral Resources Park. Appreciate your company here. Ethan Roth with you in commentary. The Port of Fremantle. Sporting Guy trying to hit it down the throat. Fowler back to a central position. You almost feel, and I don't want to say it with 100% confidence, but if West Perth can get one more, it could be enough. Even if they don't win this quarter, that's not going to matter with the final result. Off a standing step went O'Brien. Boylston trying to tap it to himself. Good pressure applied by Fitch, the man in the helmet. Jones, run and jump. O'Brien can take a couple of bounces here. Gets the shepherd there from Pereira. Then inside 50. Can he spot up a target? Just that last bit. Not quite executed. Pushed over the line though. Positive signs for Subiaco. They got the job done in the elimination final last year. They finished 4th that year. They finished 5th this year. 1 win in their last 5 games, West Perth. Boylston wanted to find Beck. Abenizio goes to ground. Jones there for West Perth. The Tata, 1%ers, all so important. Quick kick, couldn't be executed. Pereira playing tunnel ball out there. O'Brien trying to will his team into a position. Is that the required 15? Not quite. Hugged up against an impossible angle. Subiaco going back with the flight. Mark not quite taken. A matter of metres that have been gained by West Perth now out of their back half. Handball over the top. 10 minutes remaining. Have they tried to hold on to this West Perth a bit more than they would have liked? Mark taken now by Mannion. Mannion inside 50. Sporting Guy, did he cop a nudge underneath it? Umpire putting the whistle away at both ends and going to ground. It's gone back and forth in this fourth term. But ever since those 2 goals to Thatcher Simmons, neither team has been able to counter for it. Handball, Mannion, sidestepping Pereira's on him. Did he get a high free kick? It's a whistle one way or another, and it's the holding the ball free kick to Pereira. Does he want to look in board? 2 straight kicks would have them in the lead, believe it or not, for Subiaco. Bit too much on it though. Right place, right time is Fowler. Off the back of his reserves debut last week. This will be disposal number 16. Inside 50. Big punch there from the Lions. Likewise the Falcons. And then back the way of the Lions again. Abenizio. Sure, he would have thought he might not get out there this year. Subiaco, big torpedo there from Boxer. Got plenty on it, which we've seen before. And mark taken by O'Brien. Knows he has to play on. They do have time to work with Subiaco, so as much as the clock continues to run, you just think there from O'Brien, did he need to play on in an instant? Of course, easy to say up here in the commentary position, and of course you applaud it if it works out in the form of a goal end to end, but 8 minutes, anything can happen still. Down the way there of Bowers. Big fist. Hay, in fact it's Simmons out there now. Hay, he gives it to Simmons. Does he want to take a run of the bounce? Runs his full measure, had to get the kick on the boot. West Perth defender goes down. Now, is the player too far out to score? Boylston needs to make an educated decision here. Pots up to the top of the square. Barraclough saving the day. Is that a free kick? Shopping of the arms. Shopping of the arms. Subiaco should convert from dead in front here. And we'll get it back under a goal. And it's going to be Bournemouth, who kicked 1 goal 3 in their last meeting, kicks the goal, and we are all set up for a grandstand finish of the EGT WAFL Colts Elimination Final. It did not look likely at 3/4 time, but that does not matter for Subiaco. Who wants to step up and be a hero for their side? Subiaco have to get back in position. Hasn't been any warnings yet either side, but there is going to be one now for Subiaco. So they'll be mindful of not doing that again, but if they can get the ball back to the middle, then that will mean a goal next to their name. They don't want to come the other way. 6 minutes left to see who versus South Fremantle next week. What a comeback it's been from Subiaco, similar to yesterday. South Fremantle, who couldn't get the job done. 5 points the way of West Perth. Are they just tiring? They've let games slip. You think back to the draw last week. Detata and Boxer. Bit of a shove there. Captain for West Perth, vice captain for Subiaco. Not much to make for a free kick. Handball came from Lally, inside 50, Abanizio. Can they get a mark here, Subiaco? Not quite, Barraclough chopping off the arms, that last one, but he holds his nerve, then gives over to Williamson. He should have plenty of run and carry in the legs. It's one of his strengths, takes a couple of bounces, could have kept going. West Perth for Sport and Guy, is that a push? He was put a lot of momentum behind that dive, did Sport and Guy, gets back, and there is going to be a holding free kick, but it's the way of the Lions. You ready? 4.5 minutes. Could it be getting to the stage of next goal wins? Or can West Perth hold off Subiaco for 4.5 minutes and win a game without scoring in the last quarter? O'Brien, handball over the top. Can he get the 1-2? Wants to fend off, going to be caught. Got the handball out right when he needed to. This time going to be caught on the ball. One of his teammates. Still too early, you think, to milk the clock completely, West Perth. Defrain, Sport and Guy! All he needed was a run and a jump, and he can go back for number 4. And Harvey Sport and Guy could have the trajectory of this West Perth team in the palm of his hands. Harvey Sport and Guy, with all that he's achieved this year at league footy and for WA in the under-18s, it's still the most important kick of his season. Harvey Sport and Guy for 4 goals in a half. West Perth are one step closer to a first semi-final next week. 3 minutes on the clock. And they've left it till very late to get a major on the scoreboard. They won't care how late it gets to if they can hold on here. Would have to be flawless for Subiaco here now. 11 points, Jones. Where's Sport and Guy? Pap has to be clean with it. Holbrook. And Young is not going to be able to keep that in. Some nervous West Perth people late, no doubt, but you'd think they've done enough. Towards the 50-metre arc, out the back. This to put the final exclamation mark on it. Yes, it will be. It will be West Perth and South Fremantle next week. The final nail in the coffin for Harris, who kicked a goal in that opening quarter. End Subiaco's season, a brave season and a brave fight back. But as it's been for the course of this game, West Perth, the better team today, despite finishing 5th on the ladder. They're going to win their second game in 6 weeks of footy. And they're not dropping the ball after a draw last week. And fittingly, wait to see how many more scores there are in the final minute, but it's that 17-point margin which has often been the way. Quarter time, half time, and now it could be full time as well. Final minute coming up here of the elimination final. O'Brien's tried his heart out. 26 disposals next to his name and a lot of confidence going into next year, his top age season. Can Subiaco get a late consolation prize playing that goalkeeper role just to deny them the last say are the Falcons, and it'll be a 16-point victory perhaps for them. Boxer saying settle things down. Pulling his kick towards the broadcast side, and the mark taken there by Hall. Subiaco, their brave run going to come to an end. As I said, they were down now earlier in the year. A coaching change, so should not take away from what they've achieved. 4th position on the table. But their season's going to come to an end. And West Perth, as they were last year, are going to be in a first semi-final. They'll come up against South Fremantle to see who goes on from there to reach a preliminary final. Full time here from Fremantle Community Bank Oval. It's Subiaco 9-9-63, defeated by West Perth 12-7-79. 16 points in the end. Subiaco win the last quarter, but it wasn't enough in the end, and they got it down to an under a goal through Thatcher Simmons, as well as their last goal kicker in Bournemouth. Boylston, I should say, who kicked it last behind it was Bournemouth, though, at the 18-minute mark, who kicked their last goal. And West Perth, they march on a week closer in season 2026. Without Kobe Lacroix as well, one of their star players who has unfortunately been cited since injuring himself after his league debut against South Fremantle earlier in the year. But looking at some of the key disposal winners, Sam O'Brien with 27 disposals was amongst Subiaco's best in the loss. Luca Boxer with 25. Connor Lally with 22. Angus Abenizio in his second game on Colts will be a lot to work with. His career moving forward with 21. Campbell Craig also with 21. While goals, Harvey Sporting Guy kicked 4, including the sealer before Harris kicked the cherry on top goal after that. 4.5 for Sporting Guy in return for the first time since round 3. McGuan with 3, following up 5 goals last week. Thatcher Simmons kicked 2 goals in that last quarter. Jack Harris 1 late and 1 early. Dylan Young, Xavier Zucchetti, Benji Beck, James Bournemouth, Josh Tatata, Judd Malloy Broughton, Archie O'Donnell, Keenan Reimer and Flynn McGuan, as well as Harrison Wayne, the other goal kickers for their respective sides. So 5 teams now come down to 4. Next week, it'll be East Fremantle, the minor premier, hosting Claremont. The winner of that to go straight through to the grand final, and the loser to verse the winner of the other semi-final, which will be between South Fremantle and West Perth. That game at Mineral Resources Park, and the second semi-final between the Sharks and the Tigers to be down Russian Park at Lane Group Stadium as well. So we wait to see the exact fixtures and days for that. But as I said, 5 teams turn into 4, and for West Perth, they'll be hoping their reserves can follow a similar suit up against Pure Thunder coming up after this one here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. My name is Ethan Roth. It's been a pleasure to bring you both games on the WAFL official YouTube channel of Week 1 of the EGT WAFL Colts Finals. West Perth winning today by 16 points after Claremont got the job done by 8 points yesterday against South Freo. So we'll see you for the second week of the finals next week on the WAFL official YouTube channel. West Perth getting the job done by 16 points. Signing off here from Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Running through the last of my thoughts.